Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off your water supply. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the KitchenAid refrigerator filter inlet water tube kit. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the installation instructions, the adhesive sheet, the new instructions for the back wall of the refrigerator, the protective cover, and the water tube. The filter inlet water tube kit is what connects your filter housing to the water supply of the house. The main reason you'll be changing it out is if it's cracked or damaged and you're getting water leaking on the floor. In order to change the water tube kit, you have to turn the water off and disconnect the water hose from the connection. Once you have that done, we can open up both the refrigerator and the freezer doors. We're going to take a putty knife and carefully get it behind the access panel or kick panel and twist it so we pop it off. It's only held on by a little locking tab on each end. So we're going to pull the other end off and set it aside. With the kick panel out of the way, we can take out the water filter housing. We're going to lift up this little retainer bracket right here and just get it out of the way. And then we can use our 5/16 nut driver to remove these two screws. Once you have the two screws out, if you have to, you can lift this water line out of the way. And then we're going to pull it out far enough so we can disconnect this very first water line you see right here. Before you disconnect the water line, you want to throw a towel down to catch any water that may come out. Once you have the towel down, we're going to take a little 3/8" wrench and press this collar in to release the water line. Once you have it pressed in, you can reach in with your other hand and pull the water line out. And this is the water line that runs back to the back of the refrigerator. Once you have that disconnected, you can push the water filter in a little bit just to take any tension off that line, and then we can go around the back side of the refrigerator. To get access to the part in the back, we have to take the access cover off. So we're going to use our 1/4" nut driver and take all the screws out. Once you have all the screws out, you can pull the access cover off and set it aside. Now that we have the back cover off, we have access to the water valve area. If you have style 1 on the instruction sheet, you're going to have an extra fitting right here mounted to the water valve, which you have to take off, and the water line that's connected to that is the water line that we just took off on the front. So what you have to do is take off these two screws and pull this section of the valve off and then remount the water valve with the screws. We already have the new style water line with the new clamp and everything on it, so all we have to do is take this clamp off and pull the water line out. We're going to use our 1/4" nut driver to take it off. Once you have the screw removed, you can carefully remove the clamp from the water line and set it aside so we can use the new water line. Once you have the clamp off, you can carefully pull the hose out from underneath the refrigerator. Here's the old filter inlet water tube kit next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. If you have the old style water filter inlet tube kit, you're just going to have that little fitting and the shorter plastic tube. If you have to put the black rubber sleeve over the connector for the condenser fan motor, you're going to have to carefully reach in with a small flathead screwdriver. You got to be careful of all these copper lines. You don't want to kink them or move them out of the way. If you damage them, you're going to basically ruin the refrigerator. So we basically have to get this small screwdriver up underneath this locking tab that's on the back side of the electrical plug. And once you have that tab released, you can reach in with your other hand and carefully pull the plug off. Once you have the connector off, you can pull it out to the side and we can put the sleeve on it. Once you have the sleeve over the top of it, you can reconnect it to the motor. Once you have it snapped down to the motor, you can push the sleeve over the plug to cover it. Now that we have the connector on, we're ready to feed the line up to the front. You want to carefully feed it through here so it goes underneath and you can kind of look at where it's going to connect to the water filter housing up there. You don't want to give it a lot of slack, but just enough to get it up there. And then make sure that it doesn't hit anything here or the fan. And then you can bring it up in front of this water line and look where you're going to put the clamp. You want to line it up right here where the clamp is. Once you have it lined up and you're ready to mount it, we can take the clamp and wrap it around the new water line. Then we can use our 1/4 inch nut driver to put that screw back in to hold it in place. Now that we have it clamped down, once we put the rest of the covers back on, you'll just take this end and connect it to your water supply. You have to take the red cap off, and that's a compression fitting. So all you have to do is tighten it down and turn the water back on and flush it out. Before we put the access cover back on, we want to put this white sticker on it to indicate that it's been converted to the new system. We're going to peel the back off and stick it on. Once you have the sticker on, we can put the cover back over the refrigerator. To put the cover back on, we're going to line it up. You want to make sure that the top of it goes right underneath this lip right here, and then we can use a 1/4 inch nut driver to go around and put all the screws in. With the cover back in place, the last thing we have to do before we go up front and reconnect the filter housing is cover this sticker with the new sticker that comes in the kit, so you know that it's converted to the new style. All you have to do is peel off the backing and carefully cover up this old sticker. Now that we have the sticker in place, we can hook up the water line and then go up to the front and hook up the water filter housing line. Now that you have the water line routed up here, you can reach back and grab it. And then you're going to guide it over to the water filter housing and line it up with the hole. And you have to push it all the way until it bottoms out. Make sure you get it in there nice and solid so you get a tight seal. Once you have the water line out of the way, you can lift the water filter housing up a little bit and push it back into place. Once you have it all the way in, you want to make sure these two holes down here line up. And then we can use our 5/16 nut driver to put those screws back in. Once you have the water filter housing mounted, we're going to reconnect this little wire holder. All you have to do is push it down into the hole to hold it in place. And then we can push this water tube up on top of the filter housing. Once you have that in place, we can put the kick plate back on. All you have to do is line up the clip on each end and lock it into place. Now that we have the kick plate back on, we can close both the doors. Then you can reconnect your water line, turn the water back on, plug the fridge back in, and then you want to run the water through the dispenser until you get a good steady stream. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.